Welcome to American Fight Stories with Dabar. We are challenging all Americans to be better Americans by featuring excellent American fighters. And today, I'm very honored to have a friend, David Munsey, and he's a phenomenal guy. I don't know him as well as other people do, but I've always heard wonderful things about him and some connection, to his family and family experiences. But I'm very honored for the month of November to try to interview veterans and showcase their fights and helping us learn how to be better fighters for America and just how to survive, how to these are survivors, and I'm thankful for what they have sacrificed and done for our country. And I know that you're bringing it today, David. He's got his Purple Heart. What does it say? Purple Heart, combat wounded. All right. Yes, and he's got his sweatshirt on. Make sure you may not be able to see it, but it says, "My time in uniform is over, but being a veteran never ends." That's wonderful. And I appreciate you dressing for the occasion, and I appreciate you being a proud American and inviting conversations about a very important part about America is our veterans. So I will kind of let you say what you want to say, David Munsey. I told him, I said, you can say what you want to say, all right? Free speech right here, okay?
Yes, ma'am. And, I'll start out with my family's always been very toward the military.
Okay.
My grandfather was in World War I. He was a horseshoer for the 1st Cav. My dad was in World War II with the Marines, 1st Marine Division. I lost an uncle on the USS Bronson, and I also had 4 uncles in World War II. And then Dad was in the Korean War. And then I happened to be the one that ended up in Vietnam, and I got there on December the 7th of 1967.
You drafted or volunteer? Oh, wow. Okay.
And then I went through my basic in Fort Benning, Georgia.
Okay.
And they sent me to Signal Corps School up in Fort Monmouth, New Jersey.
So what is that? Signal Corps?
Signal Corps, right.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So what do they do?
Well, they're in charge of all the communications and everything. Very, very important thing. Yes, ma'am.
Communication.
But see, I was going to be inside most of the time, and I'm not an inside person.
Country boy from Mississippi?
Well, originally from West Virginia.
West Virginia. Yeah. All right.
And got up there, and I just didn't like it.
Okay.
I mean, you're supposed to have 2 years of college to even get into school. Well, I had a GED, so,
Well, and you're also David Munsey, so that's another thing. But, innate intelligence is a lot better than a degree sometimes, right?
Yes, ma'am. There's a lot of people that don't have no common sense.
That's right.
I'll tell you that now. But got up there, and another fellow and he was from Belzona, Mississippi. Okay. And we decided that's not what we wanted to do.
Okay.
So we volunteered, more or less, to go to Vietnam. And they sent us to Fort Polk, went through Fort Polk training and everything. And like I said, I got in Vietnam on December the 7th of 1967.
December the 7th is a very important day in military history. What is that?
That's Pearl Harbor Day.
Pearl Harbor Day.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And then I got there on the 7th. 3 days later, I went to Bearcat, which was the 9th Infantry Division base camp. Okay. And from there, they would send you out to your units.
Okay.
Well, I was there until December the 24th. And they sent me and 5 other fellas to Dongtown.
Uh-oh.
And the bad part about that, it wasn't really the location or anything. It was that Bob Hope was going to be at Bearcat December the 25th.
Uh-oh.
So we had to miss that.
You miss Bob Hope.
Yeah, and like I said...
probably people listening don't even know who Bob Hope was.
Right.
But he was kind of an ambassador, entertainment ambassador, kind of from America that was... loved America veterans, and he would visit in the front lines and all that. So
yes, and the troops loved him too.
Yes, they loved him.
It brought something, to us.
Okay.
And when I got to the unit, you go into the battalion headquarters, and they tell you which company you're going to and everything, and then you go over to your company headquarters and you go in there and they tell you what you're going to be doing. So got in there, and it was 3 of us, and he said, well, we need a point man, a radio man, and someone to carry the M60 machine gun.
Oh my God.
Well, I knew the M60 machine gun, that's your firepower.
Uh-huh.
Well, see, that's one of the first things they try to knock out. And then you don't want to be carrying the radio either, because they try to knock out your communication.
Okay.
So I chose to walk point.
Okay.
And like I said, I got out on a couple patrols and everything. And
now, before you went to, I'm going to back it up just a little bit. Before you went to Vietnam, were you in any kind of sports? Or, I mean, when you say point man, I'm thinking basketball might be helpful, or some sort of any kind of training, or little redneck boy training before you got there. Is there anything you had a reference to start out with?
Not really anything like that. Now, my cousins and I, we did go in caves and stuff up there in West Virginia.
Hunting ability? Did y'all hunt?
Not really.
Caving. Okay, caving.
Yeah, we used to go in the caves and stuff and check them out and everything like that. And
fear of the unknown.
And like I say, we enjoyed it up there in those mountains, that's for sure. Okay. And I always wanted to go back, but I never got a chance because, like I said, Dad was in the Marines for 20 years, and we was all over the United States.
Okay.
And
so you're back on. You decided to be the point man.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
And so this was probably about my 5th mission.
Okay.
All right. And I just had a feeling that morning. It's weird how you have these feelings. And I just had a feeling that morning. I said, something ain't right. So they took us out by chopper, dropped us off, and around lunchtime, sergeant come by and he said, okay, everybody saddle up. We got to move out. We got to get down to the river and get on the boats. I said, okay. So everybody loaded up. So once we're on the boats, he tells us what we're going to do.
Is these like the gunboats that they? No,
ma'am. This here is like a landing craft. Where the front goes down.
Okay.
And you come out. Right. And so he tells us we're going to reinforce another company that's been pinned down. And so we get to where we landed at and got off the boats, and everything was proceeding toward our destination, and went across a little stream, and I was probably about knee deep in water at the time, and they opened up on us. They ambushed us. And we got back up, and everybody got behind cover and everything, and the guy next to me was on the M60 machine gun. Well, they hit him 3 times. Well, I started to get over on the machine gun, but the other guy jumped on it. So
the guy with the radio?
No.
Okay, different guy. Okay.
Yeah. And so anyway, about 20 minutes, he started, moaning and groaning because I thought he was dead. And went over and pulled him up and was carrying him back to where the medics could work on him. That's when I got hit. I got hit in the right shoulder, AK-47, went all the way through, thank God. And then, like I said, we kept on, and that was about 6, 7 o'clock that evening. And then it was 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, they tried to overrun us. and me and 6 other wounded were in the hooch.
What's that? It ain't
a
just
little
alcohol,
shack.
right?
No. It's those little
My
shacks
sour mash.
they lived in.
Oh, yeah. Well,
And so, anyway, they threw a grenade. And I got grenade shrapnel in the head and everything from that. And then they got us out the next day around 12 o'clock. They brought choppers in and took the wounded out and everything and made it back. And the eerie thing is when we got back to the base camp and they took me in there to where they could work on me. When I woke up, the first thing I seen was a chaplain. And I thought, oh my God, does he say the last words or what? You know? But
which side am I on? Yeah.
Then I guess it was about 2 weeks. They sent me to Japan.
Okay.
And I stayed there a couple weeks, and then they sent me home.
Okay.
And I finished the rest of my time down at Fort Benning.
Okay.
And got out.
You got a big dose. You got a big dose.
Yes, ma'am. And
Vietnam fast, didn't you?
Yeah, that's one thing I can say. A lot of them was there. Some boys was there, 11 months and then get hit and stuff, But I'm glad I got mine. I got out when I did.
You're glad you survived. And you picked well. You didn't pick the M16. What did you say it was? M6. Okay.
Well, they called the radio the Prick 25.
Okay, they're Prick 25.
And so, because you can imagine, you are a target carrying that radio.
Yes.
Because, see, you had a short antenna, then you had a long antenna. And so, even though you're walking through the jungle, they can see this.
They can figure out how to go down and target
like I
you.
said, that helped my decision to walk point.
You're smart. You didn't need a college degree for that, did you?
No, ma'am. And like I said, I did see the fellow that was wounded that I helped, He was in Japan, so I know he made it to Japan.
Wow. So is that how you got your Purple Heart?
Yes. Ma'am.
Okay, for helping him back to
Mm-hmm.
the safety.
Yeah.
Okay.
And people owe our troops. You just don't know what you owe.
So when I'm a Reagan baby, that's what grew up. But I always think about him being he was a veteran. And he supported veterans and Veterans Affairs and talking about the VA, not veterans having affairs, but he supported the VA. But he would say that veterans, wrote a blank check, including up to their lives, giving it for our country. And we are indebted to our veterans. But do you have thoughts about just what all that meant, or do you have any PTSD from that, or do you?
Oh yes, ma'am. Sometimes like I said, I love to hunt.
Okay.
But there are certain times that I just can't go out there.
Yeah.
And believe me, it'll affect you the rest of your life.
Yeah, we need. PTSD is definitely a real thing, and I mean, I didn't serve, but I have PTSD. So, it even helped me. I worked for the VA for 20 years in drug and alcohol treatment, mental health with veterans, and some other areas. But it always, hurt my heart to see that. How devastating PTSD can be for veterans, but it also kind of helped me recognize it in myself when I had it. That it's very debilitating. It's embarrassing. Yes, here you've got 4th of July, and you got veterans who are suffering with PTSD from the all the shots being fired and the fireworks and all that. They can't enjoy one of the most patriotic holidays because they have PTSD. But so you have any other stories or anything you want to share from being a veteran? Or
not coming up right now.
Okay.
But being with the American Legion and the VFW, we go down to the home in Oxford, the veterans home.
Okay.
And, we try to, the different holidays, we try to be down there for them.
Encourage them.
Right, yes, ma'am.
So David's involved with the American Legion here locally, and he's also involved with the VFW. We had Kenny McMinn on here on another. Yeah. I'm sure you know Kenny,
right? Yes,
but he kind of explained the difference between American Legion and VFW. But can you kind of explain that and why your thoughts between the two? These are organizations for our veterans to enjoy and fellowship, but what's the difference between those two organizations?
Well, really, the VFW was, like it says, Veterans of Foreign Wars, and that's for the troops that, was in war and everything. And then the American Legion is for the ones, that never, got into combat.
Never went into the combat zones.
Yes, ma'am. But they both served. I want to tell you, they take care of the veterans.
They do.
Yes, ma'am.
They do.
I was the commander at Nesbitt down here.
Okay.
And everything. And that was the best thing. Somebody come in, you can help them. It just made your day.
Yeah. Hear the stories and be able to play games and listen to some music, and some people drink a little bit and play cards and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, I know. I went to visit Dad up there at the VA one time. He said, "Come here." I said, "What's wrong, Dad?" He goes, "You got to get down there to those warehouses." I said, "What warehouses?" He says, "The Japanese are trying to get in there." He says, "Y'all got to stop them, But, that's what, some of them go through.
Yeah, when they're sick and.
And like I said, it's just to go in, sit down and talk to some of the different veterans and what they experience. You'll learn a lot.
Mm-hmm. It's important for veterans who've had similar experiences. Like, a lot of times, and I'm just talking off of, what I've observed as being a VA nurse, is that veterans frequently, they feel out of place. They don't sometimes feel like they fit back into society, or their family doesn't quite understand them. But the VFW and American Legion is a place where veterans can go and be with other veterans who've had similar experiences, and whether they're talking about war stories, or whether they can just look each other in the eye and have a kinship, a fellowship, that what I'm going through and I know what you're going through. Yeah, right. So that's invaluable. What can the public do to support veterans? What do you think's important about those things?
Well, when we do have something for the veterans, we would love for them to come in and support us. Okay. And we have a lot of things there, and we put it out on our sign there, at the American Legion on Goodman and everything. And then we try to post everything on, Facebook or whatever, that we have. And it's just hard. I mean, anything you can do to help a veteran, you need to do it.
Right.
I mean, because it's a lot of us out there, it's still very hard.
Right.
I mean, if you got the time and you happen to have a veteran there with you and he wants to talk, please talk to him.
Listen to him.
Yes, ma'am.
You don't have to say anything. Just.
Well, I had another fella that I went up there to visit, and at the hospital, and he said, "David," he says, "you know something?" I said, "What's that, Joe?" He says, they had him all, doped up and everything. And,
comfort care is what we call that.
Right.
In nursing, we call it comfort care. Yeah.
And like I said, he said, "Dave, he said, if it gave me a couple more magazines and a couple more grenades, I'd have won that war.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love that. That's a give 'em hell attitude, ain't it?
and like I
he's
said,
still fighting the war.
Oh, yes,
it's still going in his mind. You know, veterans, people with PTSD, they don't let go of things very easily. So that is the tenacity, I think some people would call it. An American does not give up. We don't bow down. We don't give up. We don't surrender. That's sometimes maybe we should. But Americans fight. We fight, fight all the way through. And so so even though we're talking about veteran issues today, you know, you should be able to draw some sort of, whether you're fighting cancer or fighting, you know, whatever the issue is, fight. You know, Americans fight. We fight all the way through. We don't give up. We don't surrender. Right?
Well, after I joined, my older brother, he went down. Well, he was colorblind and he had a heart murmur.
Oh, okay.
And so they wouldn't take him.
Okay.
And it just broke his heart.
I bet it did.
Yeah.
Oh. He probably still served, though. He did what he could do.
Oh, yeah, he was there.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
He did what he could do.
Yeah, he passed last year, matter of fact, cancer. But you've been talking about the nurses. God bless you all. If it wasn't for y'all, a lot of us wouldn't be back here today.
We love y'all. I feel like, you know, I've mentioned this pretty regularly that, you know, I really treasure my time as a nurse with veterans. It is, when I quit the VA, I cried. I mean, I knew when I quit to go into full-time law practice that I was quitting the best job I would ever have in my whole life. And I quit it to go into full-time law practice. I did not want to quit. But I love veterans. The only thing better maybe is, as a lawyer, I'm able to represent veterans in a way where I have more power maybe than I did as a nurse, especially like custody battles or, you know, maybe a criminal charge where PTSD is a factor. I'm able to understand and get them the resources and the help they need, and also that their disability is not held against them as a parent. You know, a lot of times we want veterans to go fight and be that soldier, and then we want to have them come home and say, well, you were good enough to fight in the war, but you're not good enough, you're not safe to be around your own children, which is just, I hate that. That's just wrong.
No.
So I really love cases where I'm able to help veterans have as much access as they can to their children, and also that they have visitation every Veterans Day, you know, with their children, so the children of veterans can participate in their in the parades, and you know, and I say in my law office is all about flags and patriotism, and I say every day is Veterans Day at my law office. So it's only because of our veterans that, you know, I'm able to do what I do, and I just appreciate you guys so much.
Well, sometimes it's hard for the veterans when they come back to make a family and make a living for the family because of what they have went through.
Right.
And I was lucky. I come back. Well, I got back on, let's see, when did I get back in the States? I think it was probably about June of 68. No, it was before that. Because Diane was born in May. So it had to be in April when I got home, and my daughter was born in May.
Wow.
And my oldest daughter, and then I had Kim, and then Danielle. And I went into plumbing, done plumbing now for 50 years, I guess. And I changed a few times. I went from plumbing to swimming pools, done that for about 10 years, got tired. So I went back into plumbing so I could get my pension and everything. And then that's about how I stayed in the plumbing there for, like I said, I've been off and on for 50 years doing plumbing. Got 2 grandsons now. It's got their own businesses.
Wow.
And doing great.
You're definitely kind of the backbone of a lot of people to try the strength. You know, if you can do it, they can do it. If they see you do it, they can do it. And they can't really tell you I can't do it because they're gonna look in them cold blue eyes and you're gonna say them cold blue eyes says I could do it, you could do it, you know. So
well, I tried to tell my 2 granddaddies, both of them worked in the coal mines. One of them, he was a carpenter. Yeah. You know, he kept it all shored up and everything.
Thank God. Then, oh, my God. It's people that keep it all shored up so the rest of us can work, right?
And then
coal mines.
My other Granddaddy Quillen, he was a miner. That's what he done. And I've got pictures of him coming home, and he's standing out on the sidewalk there with his helmet on and his lunch bucket and everything. And the only thing you can see is the white of his eyes and his teeth. Yeah. And, well, when I got out of the Army, they wanted me to come up there, you know, and work up there. And I said, Papa, I said, I just can't, I just can't work underground like that. I said, I just can't do that. Yeah. But he done it for 42 years. He lost his leg when the tip collapsed.
42 years in a coal mine. That is unheard. I mean, I think that's pretty phenomenal.
Yes, ma'am.
To last that long doing coal mine work.
Especially when he lost his leg when he was 18. The temple collapsed. He lost his leg. But he still, he had to get up, pull that leg.
Was he a Munsey?
No, he was a Quillen.
A Quillen, okay. Well.
And he'd have to lace it up and tie it and everything, you know. And, yeah, it was something, you know.
Couldn't tell him you can't work.
Papa got out there. He worked the garden, and Granny done the flower beds. And she done the canning. Wow. And everything. And that's what these kids nowadays, man, they just don't know. I think I was 13 and 14, and I just more or less told Mom and them, you know, say, look, I go to Papa's and Mama. You know, I said, so I'd go up there each one of those summers and stay with them the whole summer. And like I said, I'd help Papa in the garden, help Granny can and everything like that. And,
oh, they was glad to see you coming, weren't they?
Yeah, but I was glad to be there.
Yeah.
And it just, I just wish we could come up with something nowadays that where we can keep our children involved in, you know, because my kids don't get out there and plant gardens. Yeah. You know. And
nothing better than the homegrown maters and all that, right? Well, it just don't taste the same, does it?
No, ma'am. We get most of our vegetables and stuff from Mr. Nat.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Yeah. Well, that's good. You don't have to, I guess, do all the work that goes with it. Right?
No, but he does. All his is real good and everything, and I appreciate him. And I forgot, too, now we got the American Legion there in Nesbitt, and we got the VFW in Hernando down here, too, you know. Yeah. But all of them's the same. They help the veterans and everything.
If you don't like one, just go on down the road. We got another one for you. If you don't fit in one, you'll find one you fit into. And when you can, buy some pies, buy some groceries for them. And they have a lot of, they have karaoke down there. They have different activities that they have going on all the time, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And there's a parade coming. There'll be all kinds of events going on. And November the 11th is Veterans Day. So wherever you are, whether you're in Hernando, Mississippi, or whatever state you're in, look for veteran activities and support those. Bring your kids. That's important that we bring kids and get them used to celebrating veterans and understanding that what we have is because of veterans, you know.
Yes, ma'am.
That's right.
Well, that's one thing. Dad to take me and my older brother with him to work sometimes, you know, on Saturdays when he'd have to work at the base. And was out there in California and was at Santa Ana. And that's where all the old blimp hangers was.
Oh, wow. And blimp hangers.
Yes,
yeah, blimps.
And so
I have not seen a blimp since.
Well, the only one I see is a Goodyear.
Yeah, I can't even think like the 80s or something since I've seen a blimp.
Well,
okay.
We'd go out there with him, and those Marines, what they couldn't do, I want to tell you. They made their own slingshots and everything.
Are you talking about a real slingshot?
A real slingshot.
Okay, go ahead.
They made their own slingshots, and the pigeons would fly up to the top of them blimp hangers up there, right? Them Marines would take a little steel ball bearing, and they could shoot up there to the top of that blooming blimp hanger, and you'd see a pigeon come. And it's just wonderful for your kids to be around the military and everything.
Military museums.
And,
go visit military museums. Good.
And want to let you know, you don't have to be military to come in the VFW or the American Legion.
Yeah, yeah.
We invite you to come on.
They let Melissa Dabar in those places too. and I don't even drink. I'm not buying any alcohol, but I can go in there and eat a plate lunch. They will sell me a plate lunch, eat barbecue, whatever. I can get in the American Legion. And I didn't serve, but I can be supportive, and I can serve, and I can listen, you know. And but you mentioned something about the effect on marriages. Could you kind of talk about that? Why is it hard? Seems to be harder for veterans to, and with marriages and stuff, because it is a common issue.
Well, it is. Like I say, I just stayed in for my 3 years.
Okay.
But Dad was in for 20. And a lot of marriages get broken up because one of the wife don't like moving around and stuff like that.
Moving too much. She's trying to nest. Or raise them babies.
Well, it is something because, man, you just get to know your buddy real good. And good God, here I am out here on the West Coast, and the next week I'm in Florida.
Yeah.
You know, or either in Millington. That's where we ended up at. That was Dad's last duty station was Millington. Okay. And that's how we actually ended up here.
So Millington, Tennessee is a inland base for the Navy. Yes. Wow. So Millington, Tennessee, outside of Memphis, Tennessee, is a base. So that's how David got here, is through that.
Yeah. Matter of fact, Dad started out, they sent him to North Carolina, then we went to Florida, then we went to Millington.
Mama's getting mad, ain't she?
Oh, yeah.
Mama's like, listen here, I love you, but. Yeah.
And then all the way to California, then back to Millington, and then when he retired, which aircraft company did he? Anyway, we moved to Tulsa.
Oh, to Tulsa.
He went to work for, it wasn't Lockheed because Lockheed called him and wanted him to go to work for them.
Okay.
And because he was aircraft and everything. And, but like I said, you move around a lot, and that causes a lot of harm. Because, like Mama said, you know, she never got to see her mom and daddy.
Yeah, her mom and daddy's missing baby girl. Yeah, and the grandbabies.
and like I say, it's just hard sometimes on them to adjust, you know. And
what about substance abuse? You know much about why? I mean, it seems like veterans kind of have a bad rap about, you know, drinking and raising hell and starting fights. And, we want you to fight on the battlefield, but we don't want you bringing all that crazy up in the middle of society, right?
That's right. But most of us are pretty calm when we get out and everything.
David's a good one. Now, when I worked at the VA, I'd have to fight some of them hellraisers, but I loved them anyway because I respected the fight in them. That same fight was what got them to survive to get there. There's you can kind of see the measure the fight in the dog, so to speak, when you're looking at veterans. And I've had to personally fight them when it's like I've had them take out sheetrock and walls and everything else. If you go and they fight all the way through.
Yeah, well, see,
I try to sweet talk them as much as I can. A lot of this sweet talking, I didn't come by that naturally. I didn't want to fight them. They didn't really want to fight me either.
You're talking about your family and it staying together and everything. Well, I was sort of busted up after we went to Tulsa.
Tulsa.
And like I said, Lockheed called Dad to go to work down Corpus Christi, Texas. Well, Dad says, well, look, I'll go down there and everything. I'll find us a house, everything like that.
Gonna save his family.
Yeah, so, okay, cool. Well, next time we seen Dad was 20 years later.
Oh, no.
When grandmother passed.
No.
Oh, yeah. And, he it was just something. It was when he left that day. It was 20 years till I seen him again.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I saw at the VA is occasionally veterans were reconciled with their children. With a long. It seems like when you're bonded in combat or bonded with the military with the guys, you flow with them, but it's kind of against your family, to stay with the boys, But I was able to see some children, adult children reconciled with their elderly veteran, usually dads, and it was really a beautiful thing to see the healing that went on with that. But that's a great thing about working at the VA is being a part of that. And I've also witnessed a lot of miracles, like with chaplain services, with marital counseling and helping families. And I even personally do that. I try to help veterans when they're in conflict with some wife may come in and ask me to, help them get divorced, and I find out that he's a veteran, and I'm like, well, is it maybe he needs some help at the VA? Do you want to try counseling? Because they're really struggling and they don't know what else to do but get a divorce. And I'm like, let's try to get them some help if we can, and let's try to see if there's some services that they could get.
Yeah, but sometimes it's just nothing there.
Sometimes there's just nothing there.
Because I tried it. We went to counseling, and everything. And after about 6 months, I asked her, I said, well, how's it going?
Yeah.
And because, we're separated. And, like that. And I said, well, I'm tired of paying that $85, every time you go in there. If it ain't doing no good, then, let's go ahead and do what we got to do.
All right. TCB, taking care of business,
yes,
right?
Ma'am.
Okay.
And always, I always tried to look after the kids. That's the first thing, know. And like I said, I was one of the lucky ones. It's not very many dads that get custody of their kids. And
a veteran, that's good.
So that's what really helped me too.
Yes.
Because I had them. I knew that they depended on me. And I had to get out there and get it.
And you're known as a good dad. I know that you're a good dad. You are. Good pawpaw and all that. So, I was going to just kind of ask you about what do you think about the condition of our country right now? You can say what you want to say, right? I mean, ain't nobody gonna shut your paycheck down, right?
No, I'll tell you right now, our country, we got to stand up.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody, not just the president and Congress and people up there. I mean, the people have got to stand up and let it be known we're not going to take this no more.
With all the issues, which one is the priority? This is a point man talking right here. He's got.
Well, to me, they're saying, we do have illegals, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But I think our main ones are the ones that wear
the crowns or something. Which one? Okay.
The turbans.
The Arabs.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right.
I just can't believe they let that many of them in our country.
Yeah. Okay.
And I believe that's where our problems are going to come from.
Okay.
Sure, we got extra people in here and everything now taking their jobs, some of them, and everything. But I really believe that's where our problem will come from.
Okay.
They put 2 planes in the towers? Is that not correct?
Yeah. What do you think happened?
I don't know now.
You don't know what happened either.
I have read so much.
Do you read conspiracy stories?
Oh, yeah. And I don't know how many I've read about Kennedy.
Yeah.
And everything. Yeah. I just think we've got to stop all the immigrants from coming in that don't belong here.
Yeah.
We've got to stop it. I don't care what they say.
We've got to protect our borders.
Yes,
we are gone as soon as our borders are gone. So,
I mean, don't get me wrong. I've worked with people, from all over. Because in '77, I went to Lagos, Nigeria, and we'd done the housing for the Nigerian legislators and the last 2 floors of the American Embassy building.
Okay.
And I met people. There was companies over there from France, Germany, you just name it, from all over. And we had the different, people working with us there. And, of course, we always had about 200 outside the gate there. We had a little compound, we worked out of. And they'd always come to us looking for the job because Americans always pay the most money, and everything. So, and you didn't have to worry about getting rid of your cardboard over there. All you did was throw it over the fence, and they made that into a hut.
A hooch? Of sorts. Of sorts.
And you just don't know how lucky you have. They had open sewage over there. I mean, it went right down the sidewalk.
A ditch or just,
a ditch.
Gosh, yeah.
Open ditch. And the sewer went.
Well, they were really. Were you a plumber at the time?
Yes, I was doing
That's
plumbing.
wonderful.
Yes, yeah. I went over there. Who was it that went over? I forget what company it was. But my ex-daddy-in-law, I went over there with them. He was in, Kimmons Wilson was in on it and everything. And he done work with Kimmons Wilson, so we done the plumbing.
Okay. Plumbers will always be in season, right?
Yes, matter of fact, we just went over to Arkansas trout fishing on the White River.
Oh, that's wonderful.
And the guy was telling us that when he found out was plumbers, he goes, "Oh my God, do we ever need them over here?" Yeah. And I said, "All right." And he told me they just can't find one.
Can't find them.
And I told him, I said, "Well, if you ever need one."
Like, I didn't come over here to plumb.
Well, I did tell him, I said, "Now,
okay.
if you ever need something plumbing done and you can't find one, give me a call and we'll trade it out."
Yeah, we'll trade it out. There you go. That's good. Trading's good. But even on that issue that you just mentioned, what about trade schools versus college? What do you think about that? You recommend people go to be a plumber?
Yes, ma'am.
That's like the number one,
Well,
a great profession. It
oh,
really
yes,
is.
ma'am. Like I said, I went all the way through the plumber's local.
Okay.
And
union. So
yes,
you're
ma'am.
unionized. Okay.
And you go 5 years through the apprenticeship program and everything, you know, and you advance each year. They raise your pay and everything, you know, and that's what I did. I went through and I done plumbing for about 12 years, and I sort of got tired of it. And I said,
it's kind of boring, is it?
well, no, that's one thing about plumbing. You can do different things.
Okay.
Because like down here in the South, they teach us everything in plumbing.
Okay.
Okay, the further you go up north, they just like, well, I just want to run the water pipe. I just want to run the waste pipe. I want to top out. I want to lay out, you know, and that's all they'll do.
Yeah.
And like, I went up to different places up there and worked, and I couldn't believe it. I was working up in Cape Girardeau, Missouri.
Okay.
And was working out there off the river, and it was cold.
Mm-hmm.
And the superintendent coming in there was wanting somebody to go up to the hospital to work. Well, you know, that's warm inside, you know. And would you believe not one of them plumbers volunteered? And so, you know, he picked my buddy that I was there with, Ross. And I told Ross, I said, if you get another opening, man, throw my name in there.
It's warm in there.
And
Yeah.
so it was about a week. He called down there for another one. Nobody wanted to go, so I went.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's it. You know, like down here, we teach you everything. You're just not in one, you know. And because right now you got your medical gases, you got to run everything in the hospitals and everything like that. Well, then the end. Well, you know, everything's changed. You know, especially since I started plumbing. It ain't nothing like it was. And
Mississippi doesn't make you plumb to code, right? Anybody can.
No.
Is that right or not? What?
No, that's not right. I
Do
mean,
you have to be a plumber?
well, like I said, when I started out,
Yeah.
you know, I went in the apprenticeship program. I'd never done nothing like that. Well, how I got into it is when I come back out of the Army, I started over on Lamar Avenue in post printing. I was doing printing. Okay. And the guy had promised me I'd go to the dark room. Well, his nephew was out from college, so he let his nephew go in the dark room. Well, it teed me off. And we'd go out to my daddy-in-law's on Sundays and play basketball and eat. The family would, you know. And I was telling him about it and everything, you know. So I got home that evening and he called me back. He says, "Can you operate a backhoe?" I said, "Well, I don't know, you know." He says, "What, you know what, you ever done the farm tractor?" And I said, "Well, yes, you know." He says, "Well, it ain't no different." I said, "Yeah, it is." I said, "That backhoe's got a bow cut on the front and one on the back." That's that farm tractor.
It's a little different, yeah.
But anyway.
But it's the same, yeah.
I started operating a backhoe, and I'd done it for a year, and I'd been helping, you know, plumbers. I'd get down and help him in the ditch and stuff, you know, and everything. Well, I got to liking plumbing. So that's how I got into plumbing. After a year operating the backhoe, I told him, I said, "No, I'm going to go down here and, you know, try to get in the plumbing, you know," and I got in. So I went in there and done that. Like I said, I stayed in there about 10, 12 years, and then I done swimming pools for, 11 years.
Yeah.
And it was...
Do you have a swimming pool?
No, ma'am. No. Now, I did have an above ground.
Why
Teresa
not?
taught me to put an above.
Why not? Why don't you have a swimming pool?
No, I just don't.
It's a lot of work, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
It's a lot of work. It's
costly.
expensive.
Yeah, you go.
Yeah.
Real costly, yes, ma'am.
Is it clean?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. My daughter's got one. Kim's got one.
Does she?
Yeah.
See, if you need a swimming pool, you can go to Kim's house.
Well, see, her and Dennis, when she was married to Dennis, they had one. So, you know, I figured, you know, why should I build one? They got one. We're going to jump in with one too. And like I said, no, I think the trades are terrific.
Trade schools.
Yes, ma'am.
Go to trade school. Plumbing,
Electricity,
electrical,
anything.
HVAC.
Mm-hmm.
What else is there? What am I missing?
Oh, good God. Huh?
Electrician.
Yeah, plumbers, HVAC, and what is it? Bikes.
But you got to pay your taxes.
Oh, yes.
You got to pay your taxes.
I found that out.
Yeah.
The hard way.
You can't just get out there and just do it. You got to pay your taxes, right?
Yeah.
Wait a minute. I think I need to pay my taxes too. Yeah.
Well, I know right after. Well, it wasn't after I got my number, but after the kids got gone and everything, you know, and I was sort of doing my own thing, I sort of forgot to pay them for a couple of years.
They'll remind you.
That's what they reminded me.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was getting a check, you know, from the VA and everything, and I just told them, I said, well, you just go ahead and take that check. Mm-hmm. Well, they can't do that. I had to actually send them the money.
No, they can't do that.
Yeah.
It was
but the VA can. They can take your checks because when supposedly when Kim and Diane turned 16, so they're supposed to come off my check. Mm-hmm. Well, they didn't take them off. Well, I didn't know I had to call and tell them. Yeah, and
the dependents.
Right.
There were dependents on your check.
So I told them, I said, when they sent me the letter and called and everything, I said, well, you just keep the check until it's paid for.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
and
they're going to get their money, right?
And matter of fact, as of March of this year, I finally got my 100%.
Good.
Good. So everything's worked out.
That's
pretty
good.
nice for me. I know it's a lot of veterans that come back.
He's talking about 100% disability. So some veterans try to get that 100%. If you need it, you know, and I think even when we had Kenny McMahon, he said, if you serve, you deserve. You know, if you've served and if you have PTSD or whatever back injuries or whatever related to your service in the military, if it's service-connected disability, then you could be entitled to compensation, a check, Social Security. So a lot of veterans have the VA service-connected disability check, and then they also have a Social Security check that's associated. So if you are suffering, then you might want to check into that. Do you have any other advice for veterans, or pretend you're the commander of the American Fight Stories Veteran Auxiliary or something?
Well, all I can say is I think people are actually coming around and really respecting the veterans more than what they have.
Okay.
And that's what we need, because you can't expect a younger man to come in here and serve our country, and if you're not doing right with the veterans already.
Right.
And that's what we got to do. We're going to have to step up and get our veterans what they deserve.
Mm-hmm. That's right. That's
and,
right.
What my dad said, he never got his.
He just worked. He worked his way out.
Yeah.
He worked his way out. And that's what a lot of veterans are entitled. I don't know whether he was entitled or not, but some veterans are entitled to disabilities, service-connected checks, but they are prideful or embarrassed to ask for help, and they just work their way out into eternity, so to speak, right?
Yes, ma'am.
They suffer in silence, and they don't really reach out and get the help that they need. When I worked at the VA, we had this. There were so many suicides that we were dealing with, and I believe the number somewhere around six. I've seen 16 a day, and I've seen 22. 22 veterans a day is kind of the average on veterans that commit suicide. And so if you happen to be listening to this, I'd encourage you, stop. Don't. If you're suffering not just with suicide, but depression, men's mental health issues, go to the VA, get the help that you need. There's special phone numbers that you can call. That I think it's 988. I think that's right. I don't have it pulled up, but 988 is there's a suicide hotline, national suicide hotline. If not, call 911 if you're suicidal. So we don't want anyone to think that there's no hope, but especially our veterans, that there is help out there. And I care about you. And David, I know, cares about how you're doing. But we would say that it takes the courage and strength of a warrior to ask for help. Yes, so it's part of the battle that soldiers bring home is a battle with mental health a lot of times. And we don't want you to suffer alone. We want you to get the help that you need to get out of the house, quit staying alone, get to the American Legion, VFW, and you can reach out to me and also probably David Munsey.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
And like Melissa said now, if you cannot get a hold of the VA, try to get a hold of the VFW, the American Legion, me, anybody, and we will get you help.
That's right. We'll get you the help you need. But I don't answer my phone at 3:00 in the morning. So if you can't reach somebody, call 911. Okay, but we do care about you, and that's even part of the reason we're doing this month for veterans is to showcase veterans who know all about fighting, all about surviving, and all about being a great American. So. Do you have anything else you want to say, David? Or
no, ma'am. Except
any words of wisdom or any political?
Yeah, everybody stay on your toes and stay locked and loaded.
Locked and loaded. Okay. Not unloaded.
Right.
Loaded with alcohol or loaded with bullets.
But like I said, our country's in the. I just don't know how to put it, I guess. We've got to straighten up. We've got to. You
can't just put it all on the veterans. You cannot just vote in Trump and think we're safe.
No, ma'am.
Trump ain't fixing it all, and David Munsey can't fix it all. Melissa Dabar can't fix it all. No. But all of us being the best Americans that we can be and taking care of business and serving and just giving, fighting back, doing the right thing. That's kind of what the show is really all about, is challenging all Americans. I'm reading my script, challenging all Americans to be better Americans by showcasing excellent American fighters like David Munsey. And I appreciate you being here today, David, and your family is precious to my heart. And I'm kind of a Facebook stalker fan of David Munsey. He posts a lot of stuff about Vietnam veterans, which are I love all veterans, but I really love our Vietnam veterans. They've always been really close to my heart. I really love Vietnam veterans, and so I think we will tell everybody we appreciate them tuning in, and we want you to be the best American that you can be. And you can find this podcast on Spotify, Apple, YouTube. Please rate, subscribe, and review. If you need to reach me, email dabarcares@dabarlaw.com. And then we're going to pray. And do you want me to pray or you pray?
All right.
Thank you, Lord, for this day. I thank you for David and his family and all the other veterans that we have around us, that we're privileged to have them, to listen to their stories, that we have, that you have carried us. You've carried them through, and you've carried us all through to today. We ask that you continue to bless America and bless that bless our families, our communities. Help us all to be right with you, to have a good heart, to have a fighting spirit, and to have faith, and to persevere, and that we are, as Reagan said, the last stand for freedom. And we know that freedom is found in you. Lord, help us, show us, help us to pray for our country. Help us to have a spirit of revival in you, and also in being the best that we can be. And I thank you. And I thank you for David Munsey, and I ask blessings upon his family, all veterans. In Jesus' name, amen.